What up YouTube, this is your president, the presidential tourist, back with our video. I am in the Land Pavilion and I just checked in for the behind the scenes tour. They give you a tour of like the greenhouse, the fisheries place they have there. You get to see all the inside of it. It's $35. I just checked in. You're supposed to check in like 15 minutes ahead of time, which I just did. You get a name tag, you gotta sign like a little waiver before you go on. So yeah, that's where you check in. It's right next to Soarin', which is over there, and where you get in for the Land Pavilion or the Living with the Land ride right there. So that's where you check in. So let's get to it. I'm pretty excited. Show us your UB.
Mayo, perfect. You
can also buy some mini gardens, which I'm gonna buy one, right? Maybe two. And I think they're pretty cool. I think they're $14 if I read the price right. I'm gonna buy one beforehand. She said they won't be there after, but this is the last tour. And they're located right at the desk that you check in, just to let you know. Alright, the lady just came to get us, and we're heading over there. Pretty exciting. This is where we go. Okay. Let's see.
I'm going to lead the tour today. I know I had two very special people that were on my dolphin tour earlier, so this is very exciting. I've told everybody, I said, I bet they'll be on the 4:30 tour. So I've been with the company for 15 years, and I've been giving tours, and very excited that I can give this tour today with all of you here. And this is the only tour that I have ever given that you're allowed to take pictures. So you can take all the pictures you want. We'll even be backstage, and you can take pictures backstage, which is usually not something we can do. But we ask you, no eating, smoking, drinking, or chewing gum along the way, and especially when you see tempting vegetables, let's not touch them or eat them, unless you're asked to, because we do have some things we can touch and eat. Any questions before we get started? We'll just go around quickly. Just tell me your first name and why you decided to take this tour.
Hi, Lori. I don't know. I just did it.
That's good enough.
I'm Caitlin, and one of my favorite rides is Living with the Land, so I thought it'd be cool to do behind the scenes tour.
Fantastic.
My name is Mike, and this is my son John, and John's got a lot of interest in science and nature, so we thought it'd be a great tour. Yeah.
David, son of
All right.
Diane, she wanted to go.
We've had people that say I was dragged here.
I've always wanted to do this.
Great.
Give her a name. I'm Carol.
Anthony, it just sounded cool.
Okay.
John and Jordan, honeymoon down in Manchester.
All right. Fantastic.
I'm Alex, that's my husband, he convinced me, and it sounds great.
All right.
I'm Karen, and it's just interesting sounding, learning all about the growth of the vegetables and fruit and so forth.
Her husband Tim, we've seen the attraction so many times that we wanted to go beyond that.
All right. Fantastic.
And Michael, I just want to learn something new.
All right. Cool.
I'm Gina, and I live in Florida, and I kill all my plants.
It's a good reason.
I'm Dylan, her husband, and I'm still alive, and I eat every day, so let's go see where some of the food comes from.
Fantastic. All right. They just handed me these keys, and normally they are marked which one is which, so we'll just figure out when we get there. We're going to go to 2 labs and 4 greenhouses, so we'll see which one opens which one.
Sure. That was time for work, told you sure.
Of course, it was very good. Always the way.
I think this is their integrated pest lab, I think it was called. Awesome.
So this is integrated pest management, and every greenhouse does have pests, and we are no exception. So we use 3 things to help us get rid of pests. The first thing we use is just cultural things we have learned that help, like taking the bottom leaves off of plants, and in a greenhouse, like to keep a fan up and blowing so that when people open the door, it blows bugs away and they don't come in. So that's very helpful. The second thing we use is pesticides, and as a company, Disney uses 90% less than most other attractions, mostly because we use horticulture soaps and oils. We put them on the plants and they get rid of bad bugs. Sometimes you'll be in one of the parks and you'll see a bush that's all shiny and beautiful. Well, it's just been sprayed with oil, so it looks beautiful and it keeps away bugs. So the third thing we have are good bugs that get rid of bad bugs. So does anybody know a good bug that gets rid of bad bugs?
Ladybugs.
Ladybugs. Ladybugs are good bugs. They eat aphids, which are bad bugs. So another good bug is, we have a wasp that's a good bug, but the bad bug is a leaf miner. And if after I explain it, you can walk around and take a look. But there's teensy, tiny little flies in here. And you think, oh, those flies couldn't do anything. But, well, you can see better there. But what they do, you see on these leaves, they really do harm to the leaves, and they will eventually kill the plant. So here are some of the leaves. And then we have a wasp that is equally as tiny, and it can get rid of those bad bugs. So when the fly puts its larva in a leaf, the wasp can sense that it's in the leaf, or hear it, or feel it, I mean, it knows it's in there, and it'll put its own larva in the other larva. So then the good bug survives, and the bad bug does not survive. But I have a video that'll explain it maybe better than I do. And while I'm showing you this video, we will also, I'll be passing out whisper units. Sometimes it can get noisy in the library. Yes. So I'll look at it every once in a while. Let's see, we need the 4:30. Here we go. All right, there's the radio. So I will have the radio on. So as soon as you get yours on and turn the volume up, you should be able to hear me. And if you cannot hear me, let me know and we'll get you a new one. And the earpiece is pretty flexible. It can go on either ear. It just kind of hangs on your ear. That's the bad bug. And it's going to put its larva in the leaf, which will be very bad for the leaf. So turn these on, try them out, and make sure it's hearing. Some of the greenhouses are very loud. So here's you see it's called a miner because look at the mouthpiece. I think they'll show you there. It looks like he's definitely chopping at the leaf. So he's causing havoc, and it'll show you a time lapse of what happens. So this is the leaf, and this is 8 days what can happen, so it can be very troublesome. I'm trying to sneak past you, sorry.
Very.
All right, just make sure they work before we leave, because we can get others if these are not happy. So this is the good bug, and the good bug, like I said, can sense where it needs to put its larvae, and it will even, when it's done putting its larvae in there, it will even put some pheromones on the leaf to let other wasps know, you don't need to come here, I've already taken care of this thing. So it's pretty basic. And then the good larva will come out, and then you have, that's what's happening over here on these plants. The good larva is coming out, and then it turns into the good wasps. So we can pass around the larva. They're so tiny, they're hard to see. But here comes the good larva. And that's what's happening over here. The good ones are falling out, we're catching them, and then we can put them into the greenhouse and get rid of the bad bugs. That's the good bug. Yay! And there's lots of other pests, but you don't want to see them.
Not really.
Now, is there anyone that's having trouble and cannot hear? Everybody can hear? Fantastic. All right, you did it. So we'll just pass around those teeny tiny good bugs. And when we're done with that, we can head out again. Just watch if you have backpacks, we don't knock the plants over because of vacation. That's
You want something to survive in Florida, you don't like bugs? It's not going to work. It will not work.
Definitely very, very tiny.
they're going to turn into boards.
We'll never survive
So we
in
collect
Florida
a lot.
without getting
All right.
full of bugs.
Any questions before we move on? All right, I will hold the door and lock it. So if whoever's leading the way, you guys going to lead the way. Just stop when you get to the yellow arrows on the ground. All right, what this big thing is to my right. Who can guess?
Probably where the ride goes through, I would
It's the
think.
exit of the ride. Yeah, so the boats are going through here to go into the building. So usually you never get to take pictures of anything backstage, but today is the exception. So we're headed to our next lab. This is a lot of fun. It also has a video so you can see what's happening. Any of you that bought the mini greenhouses, the video shows you how they do those cultures, tissue cultures. So you're welcome to stay up here on the path or come down. Whatever is good for you. All right, so this is where they do the tissue cultures for the Mickey mini gardens, and lots of different varieties, so you can read those. But they did find out there are a lot of colors in the spectrum of light, but they found out that red is very good for roots, and blue is very good for the leaves. So we have a lot of blue and red lights, and what do blue and red make? Purple. So that's why it kind of looks purple. It kind of looks a little pinkish, purplish. So that's cool. But they do something else in this lab. Disney is working with the United States Department of Agriculture. They are studying plants, trying to make plants more sustainable, more faster growing seasons, smaller plants. They're working with plums. They want plums to grow indoors, so instead of having to have a big orchard, you could maybe have them in a smaller space. They want the plums to fruit more often, so they're working on all that, hoping that maybe sometime not only could they grow them indoors, but maybe on a space station, maybe on Mars. So it's very exciting that Disney and the U.S. Agriculture Department are working on that. Any questions? It's just exciting. Yes, vanillas are hard to come by. You have to come first thing in the morning because they'll give us, half a dozen of each one, and for whatever reason, the vanillas disappear there. And there is a cinnamon tree right here. Does anybody know where the cinnamon comes from? The bark. First try. The bark, yes, the bark.
So that's a cinnamon tree. That's cool.
It's another great way to produce more while using
All right, so there are lots of different ways to kind of do the same thing. So this is called the creative greenhouse. So we're trying to inspire people to grow things in a different way. All plants need 5 things, and we use the word lawns to help us remember. So what would the L stand for?
Light.
Light. Every plant needs light. A?
Air.
Air. You have to have air. W? Water. N, nutrients, and the S. It could be soil, it doesn't have to be soil, that we have no soil in any of our greenhouses. It has to be some kind of support. So these plants right here, the support that they have is this nice pole. And the roots are getting sprayed all the time when they're coming through here. And they do not need to come out into the open. We are just doing that so that we can show everybody why the pallet's working and how the roots are sprayed. So across the way you see some aquaponics there. So we have the fish and the plants together. So the fish are eating and fishing. And then it can go up to the top and run through all the plants. And then the plants are eating. And then we can add any nutrients. So across the way, we have some burnt crops here. It's sometimes in abandoned warehouses in inner cities, they're starting to put these in. These can move if they need to get near a light source, or they can be, if they're in a greenhouse, they can hold still. But it's a way to start growing maybe lettuce or something else that you're going to want fresh, maybe some herbs. And so they do it in cities, they don't have so hard to get things. And the nice thing about the nutrients can come from the top and then can go through all the layers and then be recycled and have nutrients added. You're using 95% less water, and they're growing 2 or 3 times faster. So it's very cool. So sometimes the support can be a column, different kinds of columns, but all different kinds of support. So we've asked you not to touch anything, but we do have a mask on here.
The future of agriculture may include innovative ideas.
Here's that sensitive plant.
Grown in this way use a fraction of the space required by traditional
And most of the plants that are very large, except for what they are, most of the flowers we have are
I heard about this. That's Stanley, the sensitive plant. You touch him and he curls up. Wow, I see people touching it.
See how it curls up when you touch it?
Look, fluid.
Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, look at that. That's curl up, guys. It's cool. Yeah. That's cool.
just check if you're going to Google it, Google the sensitive plant. Apparently he's a weed.
I guess he's actually a weed.
Many gardens because
But he's still a cool plant even though he is a weed. And you see the people riding through there.
Fantastic. All right, so we do have some other forms of support for plants, and one of them can be the outside of a coconut. It can be ground up, and it's a very nice medium for plants to grow in, so we'll pass this one around. Another nice thing is rock wool, and rock wool is made from volcanic rock or pumice. And it can be heated up and kind of spun like you spin cotton candy. And then it can be this real fluffy, nice stuff for roots to grow in. So we'll pass that one around. Another thing that comes from volcanoes, more from the ash and from the glass, is the perlite. So it can be unexpanded or expanded. You've probably seen the expanded when you get bags of dirt in the store. Sometimes the perlite will be in there. So we'll pass these around. So when they come to the end, if you want to put them back up on here for me, I do have some cucumbers that we're allowed to taste. So I will wash my hands and get some cucumbers out for you. So I know we talked about having an assistant, and maybe his dad can help him. We need our assistant to pull this white thing off of the tank. Can you pull it off?
Pull this off the tank.
Can you pull it off? Pull hard. Just lay it right up here. Good job.
Thank you.
All right, so that's showing everybody that you can do the hydroponics in your own way if you have, whoops, you got 3. I don't have 3 hands. if you have something that holds liquid and then you have something that floats, you can put some plants in it. If you have an aerator in there to give you, thank you.
Little hidden
Gets you
Mickey.
a little more oxygen in there. It works really well. And we do have, at the end of the tour, I will give you a sheet of paper that has all the directions how you can do a hydroponic tank of your own. So we will pass those out to you. And hope
It's
that
cool.
Uh-oh, did you drop something?
And then there's the other version of
A
it.
little growing of your own.
Awesome.
You don't mind putting them all together just so the next person through here can find them for me. Thank you. You don't want them to say, oh my gosh, they're gone. I can't find them. So these are cucumbers that we grow right here. You don't have to eat them.
Bring in some cucumbers. They're seedless and have very thin skin, she was saying. So yeah, I think these cucumbers are actually grown right here in these greenhouses.
They are delicious.
They are good.
She says they actually call them like crunchy water, and that's what they call them.
Yeah, sometimes that.
Can I get a picture of you trying to cucumber and send them around? No?
And we are a zero waste facility, so that means we're going to put out, 95% less solid waste than what normally people would have. And so we're very specific about where we throw things away. So if you would look carefully as to where those toothpicks go. What'd you decide? You're going to taste one or no? He says no? Or he says yes?
Sure.
You want to try one?
Oh my gosh. Thank you. That's okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Here goes.
So there's specific placement, specific parties, my boss says it's very specifically zero waste, and I think it's I'm very careful about throwing things away, so when I bring my lunch, I take my trash home. Any questions? All right. Good work here. Look at these. All back where they go. Thank you very much. Put these away. Put this away. Yes. Did you try it?
He's more interested in it.
The toothpaste. So we do have a static chute here that we can look at when we go by. These are Brussels sprouts. This is basically the same thing. So the nutrients are at the bottom. They're being sprayed up on the roots. And,
She calls it a static chute. Looks like they're growing Brussels sprouts right now.
Go by.
Wow, look at this. This is cool. Plants everywhere. Look, they didn't use any dirt. Isn't that cool, guys?
I'd like to act as though I'm really smart, but it's just the way that
All right, so if you are interested in the formula, you can take a picture of this. That's what's in the nutrient liquid. And so these are mini greens, and these are microgreens, and they are growing these and giving them to restaurants. And apparently, I am not a foodie, but apparently if you are, you're very excited to see some of these microgreens in your salad. But again, it's just something that is able to float, and then you have all the roots with the nutrient system. So it's not super hard to do, but very efficient. And the next one, most of them do have a label that tells you what it is, tells you the variety it is, and then tells you when it's seeded. And the first area here is called...
That gives you what nutrients is in the liquid. The ingredients.
So once a week, they take down the string and give more string, and then lean everything to the left, so that eventually all the produce ends up near the bottom. You can have a roll of stool and roll down and just take all the produce. So it saves a little bit of space for growing. This is a way to do lettuce. Yes, we don't need it to spin because we have lots of light here, but if you were doing it indoors and you needed it to spin to get to the light. Here's the same variety of tomato as the blue blower. This one, the support is going to be across, so we eventually are going to have this growing across and kind of making a nice area. Thank you. Tomatoes. They had one of these that broke records. 16 miles over 32,000.
Yeah, I just recognize someone on there.
Please keep your hands inside the boat. Thank you.
So if they say keep your hands in, that means somebody's not keeping their hands in. People think nobody's watching them. Somebody's watching you on every ride. So the nutrients are going in here, and then they run down, and so you have that rock wool or something here with the plant in it. So we have lettuce. We have 4 different areas, and the nutrients are just constantly going down through here. I'm just putting a film for it. One of these is harvested every week, and they have 500 heads of lettuce that they can give to one of the restaurants. And the water runs down, and it's recycled. They add more nutrients, and it even goes, it is chilled. It's cool because the lettuce likes it really cool. So we have it on the first one. And the second one looks like it's just harvested, so it's just so these are the same kind of cucumbers that we were enjoying. So if you want to know the variety, it's right here. And the bags that you see are full of that coconut outside husk, and then some rock wool in the middle. And these will grow up and then have the support of the strings. Sometimes they put them in a mold so that they have a Mickey mold. Then when they slice the cucumbers, they have hidden Mickeys. Very cool.
That's cool.
Peppers here, and across the way we have eggplant. Like I said, you can come next week, and these all might be different. They change things on. So we do have water in this corner if anybody wants to drink water on the other side. So you can kind of drink the water if you would like. You can sit down for a moment. We won't let you sit very long, but if you want to sit down for a moment, if you want to get some water there. So we have a lot of greens in this greenhouse, but sit down if you want, or just stand, whichever works for you. What's really different about this greenhouse from all the others? Sand, yes. You don't usually think of sand as a good medium to grow things in, but it's actually pretty sterile, so it's not a bad, as long as you have these underneath, we'll pass these around, to get the nutrients to all the roots. So we like to show people on our ride that there are lots and lots of ways and places you can grow things. So just let them know that even if you have sand, there's hope. So we do have Casa Banana here. It apparently does not taste like bananas, but apparently looks a little bit like them. The word Casa in front because in some countries they put this in their homes as a gift. Apparently it's not a real yummy. It tastes a little bit like cantaloupe, but a kind of a slimy cantaloupe, so they use it mostly in smoothies.
Is that a ripe one, the red one?
Yes. Yes. And we do have mullet here. We used to be across the way. This is sorghum. They had mullet across the way. They had sorghum and corn over there. I'm not sure if they're still there. Not something we use a lot in the United States, but sometimes they use them in other countries. Pass it around in a flour. We use it mostly in bird seed. Yeah, everything's changed. Here for another day and everything disappears. Thank you, sir. Appreciate your help. Is the sorghum ready, Rob?
It's still making its way.
Okay, well, they think I've seen those, so if you guys are interested.
We've seen it.
You've seen it?
Yep, it
Not
came here.
interested. No.
Seed.
I love Figment. I don't know why they don't have a movie with Figment. All right, they came back. Thank you. All right, so our rest is over. We'll move on. We have figs right here, and figs are the oldest plant that man has grown and kept near him. Figs apparently are not very good for long periods of time, so you don't usually see them fresh. You usually see them dry. We do have passion fruit here.
So those are figs, and then passion fruit. Ooh, coffee.
The red ones,
Coffee
if you
beans.
open them up, they will have 2 beans inside. And of course, after you open them up and get the 2 beans out, then you have to do all the drying and roasting. Does anybody know how many coffee beans it takes to make a cup of coffee? No. Any guesses? 1,000?
That's a coffee bean, guys. Cool.
So that's one reason coffee is so expensive.
So 80 of them takes to make 1 cup of coffee.
So we're going to be growing some gourds here. So this is all changed, and they're putting up lights. It's so exciting. We have some flowers that are edible.
These are edible flowers.
Good bugs. There are companies that you can buy sachets of good bugs and then hang them on your plants and help out your plants. We do have hops here. Does anybody know what hops is used for?
Beer.
Yeah.
So it's hops.
Some lemongrass in the back, and we have some
Lemongrass, cotton.
cotton is flowering. So I've never seen flowering cotton before. And I had never put my hand inside cotton before. But if you do, when you go by, you can feel the seeds in there, and you can see how difficult it might have been to
Just
separate
cotton.
the seeds from the cotton before they have the cotton gin. So it's fun to put your hand in there. We have some can here that's mostly used for zest.
Yeah, I do feel the seeds in there.
And then if you're wondering how they know how much to give, how much nutrients, how much water, how long, genius is in charge of all this. And different flowers, different plants need different amounts, so they have it all on timer. We do have a hidden mini across the way with bougainvillea that should be flowering eventually here. A little louder down here, but we'll turn it down.
This is awesome. There's another hidden Mickey there. I can see why they give you earphones. You could hear her better because it would be quite loud.
Alright, so what's going on here?
Not sure how well you could be able to hear. I hear her fine.
Farming. We have shrimp over here.
Shrimp?
We have some catfish over here.
Catfish over here.
Around the world there are 250 different kinds of fish and crustaceans that are farmed. Worldwide, 50% of all of the fish are farmed. We don't do that much farming in the United States, so some other countries like 90%, us not so much. But at some point we're going to have to stop taking everything out of the oceans and the rivers and the lakes and be able to kind of keep more sustainable. Are territorial, so they're not a great thing to farm because they need a lot of space. But they do give you these nice exoskeletons that you can go on. Some people worry when they go to restaurants where the shrimp are coming from. Some countries don't worry about the quality of the water the shrimp are in, so it can be worrisome. Whereas if you're farming, there are controls, there are standards, so you have to...
Please remain fully seated for your safety. Please remain fully seated. Thank you.
Somebody's not staying safe. So while we're together, I will tell you that catfish are next. That is something that we farm in the United States because we have a lot of people that like catfish. The next one down is bass.
She's saying
And it's a hybrid
catfish and hybrid bass is next.
One of them grows quickly and one of them grows fat, so it's good for a farmer. Both the bass and the tilapia that are the next one are fish that like to be close together, so it's good to farm something that likes to be together, so that it's a little bit easier. The tilapia, they tell you that a pound of food will get a pound of weight from the tilapia. So that's the one that farmers are going to really like. See a lot of tilapia in the farm.
Tilapia is really easy to farm, and that shrimp isn't very easy to farm because they're very territorial. They need a lot of space. Yeah, I think you're definitely gonna have a hard time hearing her here in this section. That's why you have these earphones. These are the bass. And the tilapia's next. There's the bass. And this is the tilapia.
Put your hands over the water. We don't want to put our hands over here because we might get something. So we'll put about half of us up here for the first time and then we'll put the other half the second time. I'm going to pour some fish from in your hand and we're going to all drop it at the same time. You don't want to throw it in the middle where we don't want
She's gonna give us food. She's gonna give us food that we could feed to the fish. So we're gonna feed the tilapia. And she wants it over the water because they don't want to spill any on the floor to encourage pests to come in here. So you gotta put your hand over the water. So I'm gonna get some. This is gonna be cool. So this is gonna be exciting. We're gonna feed some fish, guys. That's gonna be fun. Can you see the? Okay. You got it. Yeah.
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3, go! Happy fish.
Okay, cool.
Anybody else? No? All right. Well, those of you that didn't have a turn, go ahead and step up. You gotta have your hands, you put them together too. It's a little easier. All right, put your hands out way over.
There's a banana plant. I know those really well.
All right, what plant was on the corner?
Banana.
And everybody said banana. They didn't say banana tree, which is what I said when they asked me, and I was told, no, it is not a tree. It has no bark. It is a banana plant, and it's an herb.
Wow.
Biggest herb there is. All right, we have 2 orchids.
Looks like banana is an herb, guys.
Here. It does look like that. It is, yes. It's vanilla, so it takes 6 months.
Cool, that's
to grow
vanilla.
this big, and then it takes a year to dry and be usable. So that's one reason vanilla is so expensive.
That's so yummy.
So this is another kind of banana. This is an ice cream banana, small
Ice cream banana. This is called ice cream banana. Cool.
Miracle fruit.
Miracle fruit. This is called.
Cherry, and if you put it in your mouth, it does have a big hit like a cherry. But it is one of those interesting fruits that the sweet taste stays in your mouth a half an hour. Just come on down. So this is really good for people who are taking medication that might leave a metal taste in your mouth. You can put one of these in and then sweeten up your mouth. So it works really well.
Looks like there's olives. Ooh, star fruit.
Remember we showed you the mold? They put some of the gourds in a mold and grew a Mickey. So that's pretty cool. Alright, so what is all around us? Spices. So we have some spices.
Looks like there's spice garden. Mustard, stevia,
Alright.
grains
so
of paradise,
what is the most
lemongrass.
expensive spice? Saffron. Everybody knows that. I didn't know that. So we'll pass around saffron. And why is saffron so expensive? Yes. Saffron is the stamen from a crocus. The crocus only grows once a year. And then the stamens have to be hand-picked out. So that's why saffron is so expensive. News to me. I have not much of a look, so I have never used saffron in my life. So some of them we can tell what they are by looking at them. What's this one? Vanilla. You have allergies, don't do any sniffing, but if you don't have allergies. How about this one? Cinnamon. How about this one? Pepper. And then we're going to have one that's a secret. Don't tell anybody what this is until you have a chance to sniff it. Oh yeah. All right, the saffron came back, and that's 34. Don't tell anybody the last one. You figure it out. Yes, you don't have to get too close to the last one. Oh yeah?
That's vanilla, definitely.
I can't see it already.
Here's the cinnamon.
Cinnamon and sugar on toast. That
Smells really good.
Oh yeah. Now, pepper's coming around. Is pepper a tree, a bush, or a vine?
Of course, everyone knows what pepper smells like.
It's actually a vine, and you can grow it into the shade.
There's pepper.
Plant in the greenhouse. It's over 20 years old, and it has grown into the shape of a Mickey.
That's the oldest one in the greenhouse. It's over 20 years old. So that's the oldest one in the greenhouse, this pepper plant. It's grown in the shape of a Mickey.
They grew it in a mold, and because we have Mickey there, if anybody would like their picture taken by the Mickey holding the Mickey.
Yeah. There you go. Sure, I got it.
All right. Hold it. It's heavy. All right. Right by this
right by there. I'll take a picture. All right, the cheese. Nice. Sure. Thank you.
Just hold it.
One more time. I'm going to get in there with you. You got it?
All right.
Thank you very much. Sure.
My grandma. If you come this way. Anybody else?
It's cool. I got mine done too.
Yes.
Cacao.
And what do we make from it?
Chocolate.
Chocolate. So some of these pods are visible. We're going to have to go back the way we came, and there is a corner where the water is, and if you look across, there are some bushes, and right above the bushes, you'll see the pods. So we'll head back that way and see if we can. Any questions before we move on?
It's very cool, guys. Very cool. I'm enjoying this a whole lot.
Alright, so right in
those are the cocoas.
And breadfruit is
That's-
the biggest one back there.
That's what they make chocolate out of. The biggest
Breadfruit could feed the world.
biggest one's called breadfruit. She said breadfruit. That's the biggest plant they have here. That is awesome. They definitely keep you moving in here.
Alright. So why is it red in here?
Maybe,
Good idea.
but maybe they can't see the light, and that makes it more darker.
It's actually to keep down the algae. Normally a fish farmer would not care how much algae grows on the glass, but we want our guests to be able to see the fish, so we don't want too much algae growing.
So,
And even with this, which does help cut it down, every once in a while somebody does need to get in the water with the fish and wash the windows. So that sounds like a fun job. Yeah.
so the red light keeps down the algae so people could see it, see the fish when they come through either the tour or the boat. That's why, but sometimes they still have algae, so someone has to actually get in there and clean it still. I'm just repeating some of this. I'm not sure how well you guys are all going to hear this. I have an idea. I might film this again and put the earpiece next to the microphone. See how that turns out for this tour next time. I'm learning things new.
Now you can see the corn across the way.
There's corn growing over there. Buddha's hand, that's called.
Please keep your hands inside the boat at all times.
Oh, that's a job I'm glad it's not mine.
So why do the fish farmers not mind all the algae? Is it beneficial to the fish?
It doesn't bother the fish, and it's not unhealthy, and it's just something that happens naturally.
But doesn't it just accumulate and
It
eventually
does.
have to come off?
Yeah. I don't think it does, but
Common
you
grains
can
grown
ask the fish farmer.
maize, soda, and milk, plus rice.
That is a very interesting wall in front of us. Some of you may have seen it before.
Is it?
Greenhouses.
Is those pomegranates?
Yes, pomegranates. Yes, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
I thought
did
so.
not say they were. I usually do, but I can't guarantee that. This wall is used in some military facilities and in some countries as a way to cool off a greenhouse. So there is a door behind it, so if it's cold the door is closed, but if it's hot the door is open, and water is continually dripping down, and then there are fans across the way which will pull air from outside through the water and across the greenhouse, so it cools off the greenhouse. This time of year is not something we have to worry about. In the summer, people are hugging this area because it's the coolest area that we have.
It does feel
But
cooler.
It's really an interesting idea, and
Yeah,
cool that somebody thought of it. And I didn't realize till one of the veterans came on the tour. He said that, oh yeah, the U.S. uses it in some countries for the military. And I said, oh.
Natural air conditioning. I guess it came from the military. They put water down, then air naturally gets sucked through it, and it just cools down everything. Basically natural air conditioning.
So the sorghum's real tiny. Last week, the sorghum was huge, and you could see the two connect, but not connecting this time. These are the same kind of walls on the right, but they are much older. So they replaced the ones back there.
It's cool. Very interesting.
That noise you hear, that's nutrients being added to the water. We have everybody.
That noise you hear, that's nutrients being added to the water for the plants. And look, there's another hidden Mickey over there too.
All right, so we do have an interesting ceiling. It is 2 layers of plastic with air in between, and it helps insulate the greenhouse so it's less hot in the summer and less cold in the winter. During the hurricane, which we did come in during the hurricane, it was blowing and making such loud noises that it was almost a little scary to be in here. You almost felt like the whole roof was going to come on, but it did not. And it's the other good thing it does, you can't tell tonight, but on a really sunny day, normally you could see shadows and they'd be real black. But if you're in here, because of the 2 layers and because of the air, the light is diffused. So the shadows are just gray, they're not black. And it's good for the plants to have that diffused light. And then it's good for all of us that are in the greenhouse so we don't get sunburn. So it works out.
It's better for the plants?
It is.
Without direct sunlight?
So there's 2 layers of plastic and air goes through it. Helps keep it cool during the summer and warmer during the winter. And then when it's really sunny, it gets really diffused light. It helps with the plants.
The greenhouses to have less light.
To limit the light?
Yeah. Not full strength paint, but watered down paint. So we're hoping that all the people that go by in the boats will be inspired to do some hydroponic growing. If everybody grew a little bit in their home, then we wouldn't have to worry so much. Now this greenhouse is actually air conditioned. You can't feel it tonight, but
This one is actually air conditioned.
if we have any final questions, we don't have to worry too much today about it being cool. But in the summer, people can't wait to get out of the hot greenhouses into the cool greenhouse. But this is the end of the ride, and so they go into air conditioning. So then, does anybody have any final questions?
The plants we just walked past with the little spirals going around,
Yes.
are they turning for a reason?
That's to get light. That's just to show people if you were doing it indoors and you only had one light source, they don't need to spin in here because they get plenty of light. But if they had to get to a light source, yeah, they're showing people that you can do it in a home if you can get it to spin. So Stanley has a trick. So if we come around Stanley, we can show you the trick that Stanley can do. Oh, Stanley looks like he's kind of trying to close up. So you can say goodbye to Stanley. Touch him if you want to. He looks like he's just about ready to go to sleep. Is everybody close? Come a little closer. Stanley's going to do a trick.
Yeah, Stanley's got a trick. All right, what's Stanley's
Are you ready for Stanley's trick?
Stanley didn't like that.
They all closed
Well,
up.
he would do that if it was raining, so he could get more water to his roots. He would close everything up at once, and that would help him out.
Stanley's very smart.
Stanley's very smart. And then he'll come back in
He's
just a
very
short amount of
very
time.
smart.
How old is he?
He is. He's been here a long time. I'm not sure. I was going to say 20 years, but I'm not 100% sure about that. I will double check.
Certainly years and years.
Yes, he's been here a long time. People who have come and done this tour more than once, they know Steve.
You're good. Get out of your way.
Any questions?
That right there, Stanley, guys. Right there.
Are they really in a lot of the restaurants?
I wouldn't say a lot of the restaurants. If you eat at the restaurant here at the Land, that's where most of it goes. Even some of the fish go to the restaurant. But Disney is not trying to grow enough or have enough fish for all of its restaurants. It's really trying to inspire people to grow things at home or for their city or something like that. So most of it is just a show. And then because we have it, if we can't use it in the we can't use it in the restaurants. A lot of the produce will go over to Animal Kingdom. So you've probably seen videos where they have pumpkins and they have squash. And a lot of the animals are really, elephants love.
So some of it goes to the restaurants and then some of it goes to Animal Kingdom. Do they have any extra? That's cool.
Pretty good over there now.
Very cool. Yeah.
They tote all of the different alternative growing methods, a lot of which we see there, but how common are those methods becoming throughout major agriculture? Because I have to assume not
that
very
common. No,
Yeah.
because it's expensive to start up. Once you start up, like I said, they're growing 2 or 3 times faster and you're using 95% less water. but it's just like solar energy, or it's so expensive to start up that people just go with what's cheaper or something. But I think things will change. We're getting so smarter as we age into this world. Yes. So we're headed back to the room where we started, where I have the paper that can tell you how to do hydroponics at home. So I'll give you that paper, and then you can give me back your whisper units. So we will turn them off to save the battery, and we'll wind them up, and then I'll let you back out. We will be exiting at the exit of Soaring, so sometimes it's wild and crazy, and sometimes it's not very fun. You never know, it's a surprise. So here's the paper that talks about hydroponics. So if you're interested.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Do you want these back?
Sure.
Thanks.
Yes, Mother.
She said, come on in,
Got a paper?
everybody's over here. Come on in. Plenty of room. All right.
You're used to having you inside my ears.
Yes.
Actually,
Now my trouble is I do forget sometimes to take the microphone off. Hydroponics?
Thank you very much.
Anybody else? Yes. Sometimes they stick together. Hydroponics and we got them. All right. We'll get everybody growing things in their basement, and then we won't hear how hydroponics go.
We'll share the basement.
We don't have to worry. Wow, all right. Yes, I don't have to worry. I can't hear you either. We get everybody's whisper units? I'm sorry.
Got a couple.
Couple more. Any more whisper units? Well, thank you all for coming. We really appreciate it. Every park does have tours, so if you're interested, you can check them out. You can be like these guys. They had dolphin with me in the morning and seeds with me in the afternoon, so it's very exciting. Thank you for coming. Oh, there is exit for Soaring, so be careful. Thank you so much. Thank you. Glad you came.
All right, thank you.
Nice to meet you.
All right, then we exit right into Soaring again. Right where we started. That was cool, guys. I don't know how well you heard, but next time, if I film this again, I'll put the earpiece next to the microphone in here, and then I should be able to get it, if you guys didn't hear it. But I'm always able to answer any questions you might have. All right, that was cool.